you a songwriter? Are you looking to turn your songwriting passion into a full-time gig? Whether you are just at the start of your songwriting journey or a seasoned industry professional, this show is made for you. Welcome to The Songwriter Show, bringing together songwriting news, interviews, and community. Now, welcome your host, Sarantos.
Welcome back to The Songwriter Show. I'm your host, Sarantos, a solo music artist and fellow songwriter who's always believed in the magical power of words. I love and I thank you for joining me on The Songwriter Show every single Tuesday evening on Reality Radio 101 so we can help bring you behind the stories and behind the scenes with some of today's most inspiring songwriters. Tonight I'm so excited to have on the show Ansel Brown. He's a country music artist and entrepreneur whose heartfelt songs blend blue-collar grit, patriotism, and personal storytelling. His career highlights include recognition from the Country Music Association as a debut spotlight artist, collaborations with NASA, and powerful performances for veterans and children's hospitals nationwide.
And now, welcome this week's special guest.
Welcome to the show, dude. How are you?
No, that's good, man. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. We're glad you're here too, man. And I got to ask you right off the bat, tell me about the NASA thing. I mean, it's probably not the first thing I should ask you about, but I'm a space nut, so I want to go to space. So that's the first thing I'm going to ask you, dude.
Yeah, Sarantos in space. That sounds kind of cool, actually. Not going to joke or not going to lie. Yeah, so I wrote a song called, songwriting. So I wrote a song called When You Fly, basically for pilots. You know, it was just a very visual song. And I heard the space shuttle was going to, the program was going to be ending. And so I got this wild idea. I'm like, I need to send this to Johnson Space Center in Texas and get them to listen to it. So I did. And about a year later or 6 months later, something like that, the head astronaut for NASA called me and emailed me and said, we love your song. We can't do anything with it, but we love it.
That's awesome.
And she said that they were going to send it to DC and let them listen to it and let them figure out how they can include it and me in their program. So I never heard anything back after that. But 12 weeks before the shuttle launch, the final shuttle launch, I got a call while I was filming a video at an airport for that song. And I was in an old Staggerwing, and I got down and got a call, and they were like, "You need to come talk. It's NASA." They were like, "Hey, it's only 12 weeks away. It might have been 10 weeks. It was one of those two." They were like, "It's really, really coming up here." Like, we've thought about this. We've talked to some other artists, but we really like your song. We really like what you wrote. We want you to be the artist that comes in and finishes this shuttle program. The rest is history. As I say, I ended up going to the final space shuttle launch. They let me bring my family.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I got to climb up the entire space shuttle Endeavour from bottom to top of the tail on the scaffolding as they disassembled it, which not even NASA, not even our handlers were allowed to do that. So they were excited as us.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was just one of the most surreal moments in my life. And then that turned into the final space shuttle landing and doing a national radio broadcast from the landing, which was all dignitaries, former astronauts and world press, but it was a private event. And then they were like, "Hey, can you come and talk to all the space shuttle employees and contractors that are going to be moving on since the program's ending? We'd like to have you speak after the administrator of NASA speaks. And then we want you to sing to the crowd." So I got up, gave a good speech to motivate everybody. And then I sang When You Fly to that crowd. And that was, again, one of the most surreal moments in my life. And from a songwriting perspective, that led into a song called Our Country, which was narrated by the voice of Peter Cullen, who's the voice of Optimus Prime and all the Transformers franchise.
Oh, yeah.
So he narrated it. I met him at the final launch, and I serenaded him a cappella, made him cry. And before you know it, he was recording the narration for Our Country for our veterans. And it's just amazing, man. I've got so many stories.
Dude, where do we even go from there? I guess I got to ask you about what instrument you play, but man, yeah, that's awesome, dude. You're living the dream, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's one of those things, you don't necessarily count success one way, right? And that was one of the things I think in my first career as an artist was, how could I experience things that really I would never get to experience without the song? without the music.
And that's what people don't realize, right? It's not really for us. It's not about the money. It's not about the fame. It's about just touching people and people listening to your shit and liking it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Couldn't agree with you more. And it's fed so much in my life, not just inspiration, not just feelings, but these experiences. And, my old website used to have just experience pages. So it was like, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this. It was really, that's what I based my success on, was what was I experiencing? And I feel like if writers just understood, I think a lot of people write and they put it away. They write and they put it away. And then some write, sing it, record it, release it, of course. But I think a lower percentage of people actually look for ways for their music to be heard and experienced. And I think that's something that I've always done well, is I really feel like if I write a song and I put that effort into it and I feel like it's connected to me in a deep way, I want to figure out what group of people is that song going to speak to? And then what engine can I put behind it from an experience standpoint that's going to not only get the song attention, but give me something that I'm always going to remember.
Yeah. No, well said.
Thank you.
So tell us about your instrument.
My voice.
Okay.
I'm not a player.
Yeah, that's fine, man.
Yeah.
Tell us about your songwriting process. Do you write lyrics? Do you compose music at all? Or do you just work with a producer? How does that work for you?
So typically I will get a full song. Well, not a full song. I'll get a half a song in my brain, melody, words, you name it. I'll put it down. I'll do a work tape, and then I'll sit on it, because I can't finish a song because I have that constraint of not playing an instrument well enough to really accompany myself, which has always been like, to me, it's given me a little bit of, what's the word, where you see somebody doing something and they don't feel like they're worthy of that.
Oh, imposter syndrome? Or
yeah, I get imposter syndrome because as a country artist, people just assume you're going to play guitar. And so I've always had that issue with imposter syndrome. And it took me a while to get over it. My producer in Nashville really helped me. He's like, Ansel, why in the heck would you want to get behind your guitar when your whole connection with the audience requires your entire body? Why do you want that guitar dividing you and conquering you in front of the audience? You know that you're not going to be as good as the players in Nashville. So why not let them play your music and you do your voice? You connect. And so that really made me feel like it is my superpower, connecting and being vulnerable is really my superpower. And so I think that I've learned to take that to heart. And I'm really proud that I didn't, give up just because I kept on having to tell people, I'm sorry, I don't play guitar.
Yeah. Well, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think.
Yeah.
So I came from a similar place where I was always about the lyrics. And when I started down this journey like 13 years ago, I literally could not play an instrument. I mean, you could screw around on it, but I didn't really play an instrument. Like you said, you feel like you're damaged and flawed. I was throwing loops together and I'd hire a guy to play a guitar part and be like, this is what I'm thinking. And then I learned the piano and I learned the guitar, but even now, I feel like you can learn anything, but I'm not an instrumentalist. I can't get up on stage and play as well as some of these guitarists or pianists. Mm-hmm. And I think if I'm creating in Logic in my house, where you can take your time, you can start something at a BPM of 40 and crank it up to 100 and learn it. That's my story. And I'm not self-conscious about it anymore because, again, I think there's some people that are so talented. There's some guitar players. There's not a lot of Ed Sheerans out there that are good guitar players and songwriters.
Right.
So it's okay to pick a lane. And I feel like it took me a while to get over that too.
Yeah. If I had to give anybody advice, if being an instrumentalist,
you would give Ed Sheeran advice.
I would be like, hey, if you can play and sing, man, go do it. Yeah. But I would give the same person that can only sing or play, can't do both on stage. I would be like, yeah, pick your lane, go do it. Don't worry about what people are going to think, whether you're a country artist or whatever. Don't let not playing a guitar keep you off the stage, because I feel like there are a lot of people like me. And, I hope that, when they hear my story and your story and others, that they understand that it's really about the song. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter whether you're, playing an instrument while you sing the song or not. I will say, getting back to my point about how I write, is I typically will get that first half of the song, a couple verses, a chorus, and I usually stop before the bridge because I know I want the bridge to be special. And in country music, the bridge is really special. So I will wait, and I'll pick my battles with my songs, and then I'll take it to usually a co-writer, whether it was a guy named David or a guy named Brent or a guy named Harrison or a guy named Skip. And I would go to those guys and I would be like, okay, this is my vision for it. Here's the song. Here's what I've got. I really want to get just a killer bridge. Here's what I'm thinking. And then we'll work on it together. Or they'll sit back and they'll go like, okay, I really like this. And they'll put some stuff to it and some ideas together, and they'll send it to me. And that's typically where the whole thing comes together. There are certain songs like Our Country that I wrote from top to bottom, as well as like Buttermilk Creek, which is not out yet. But that's kind of the minority.
And listen, at the end of the day, I can't remember the documentary on Netflix I saw, but these session musicians are so talented, and they do all the music for all these hit songs that people don't know about. And they never got credit for it in the past, So again, I think whether you're a songwriter, a producer, a composer, an arranger, a lyricist, a beat maker, a session musician, whatever you want to define yourself as, it's okay for people to be really good at one thing.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Totally agree. And I totally agree with that.
Tell us about the song we're going to hear. What inspired this one?
Okay, so this one, I used to drive back and forth to Arkansas, and I would go there to be with my wife at the time, and then I would go for 2 weeks, and I would come back to North Carolina to be with my sons for 2 weeks, and I did that for 3 years. And as I was driving, I was looking at these truckers, and I was like, truckers, man, it's hard for me to do, every 2 weeks to drive 1,000 miles every 2 weeks. But I was doing it, and I was doing it for 3 years straight. I just started to envision myself. What would I do? Like if I needed my wife, or if she needed me, how would I do that? So when I first wrote the song, I called it 1,000 miles to your front door. It's since changed to Where I Want to Be. And the whole point of the song was just trying to get back. Something happened, and you can interpret that any way you want to. Either something happened to the woman or the man, or the truck driver or the spouse. And you just had this urge where you had to turn around and you had to get straight home, and you had to get there and just be by their side. It could be your child, whoever it is in that realm of you being away and having to get back and needing to get back now. And I felt like the chorus that I wrote in that song, to me, is incredibly strong and powerful. And I think people will relate to it. I also had a friend who named Charlotte, I'll just say that, who had a husband named Paul who passed away. And so I really wanted to get this song done and finished and dedicate it to their marriage and his life as a truck driver, because I know what the sacrifice was for them, and I know how much he meant to them. And so this song will be dedicated to Paul and Charlotte. I'm getting a little choked up. Sorry.
Okay.
And I'm excited to finally have it coming out this October on the EP, The Rise. And I'm super stoked about it. And I can't wait for you to play it for everybody, but it's a beautiful song. And I think it'll touch more than truck drivers, but anybody that longs to get back, whether you're traveling for business or traveling in a truck or whatever. If you've ever needed to get back to the one you loved, whether it's a wife, husband, or a child, or a family member, that's the whole dream of this song, is getting back.
Awesome. Let's check it out, and we'll come back and talk, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, everybody, check this out. Here we go.
This lonesome highway I travel on keeps me away, drives me insane. I need you now more than I ever have. So I'm coming home. I'll be there real soon. You'll see. It's 1,000 miles to your front door. I'll drive and drive and drive some more. Be there come the morning, you will see. As the miles pass by, I know that I will find you laying where I wanna be. These black sub roads and their painted lines, they're guiding me. I know I gotta push on through 18 wheels and a heart that's true. They carry me back to you. I'll be there real soon. It's 1,000 miles to your front door. I'll drive and drive and drive some more. I'll be there come the morning, you will see. And as the miles pass by, I know that I will find you laying where I wanna be, next to you. I'll be there come the morning, you will see. As the miles pass by, I know that I will find you laying where I wanna be, next to you. You're next to me. I'm next to you. Right where I wanna be.
So that was a cool song. Thank you for sharing it with us tonight.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you gave me a platform to share it before it comes out.
You're welcome. So are you in Nashville, or what area of the country are you from?
So I'm in the Carolinas. I was born in the Carolinas. I was born in Greenville, South Carolina. I lived most of my adult life in Charlotte area of North Carolina. And I've always kind of treated Nashville as a place that I want to go to record, write, network. You know, my PR team is out of Nashville. My radio team's out of Nashville, but I am a Carolina guy through and through. And this time, this round in Act 2 for me, which this is the second act of my career, I'm really planning to, center myself in the Carolinas and radiate out from there this time, because I kind of did the Nashville thing the first time. And I feel like this time, you know what, I kind of left the Carolinas, and not that I ignored my home states, but I left and I put most of my attention on my Nashville career and radiating out of Nashville. And even though I record and write there a lot, and my producer Cliff is there, I still do some recording in the Carolinas. Part of this album is recorded in Salisbury, North Carolina, with Eddie Snuggs and Brent Bowers and Harrison Foreman, who are amazing and got me back into writing. But Cliff Downs, my mentor, the love of my life in terms of music and learning what it takes to be a good singer in the studio. And that's what I mean by love. Cliff Downs, just a super, super person, just incredible talent. So, I'm proud that I get to call him a mentor. And so I really, this time I'm homing myself in the Carolinas. I'll be doing stuff in Nashville, but I'm sticking here and I'm going to radiate out from here.
Tell us what you were like as a kid.
Oh boy, that's a doozy, man. My mom and dad probably start laughing as soon as they hear this one. I hated school. I loved freedom. I loved being able to do whatever I could put my mind to. I was, incredibly creative. And I think that really, being in a classroom really messed me up. It was like oil and water. And I, did everything I could to skip school, to hide, to eat food and have my daughter serve me after school. When she would come home, I'd be like, okay, bring me. I don't want my parents to find me in my hiding place. And I mean, I would hit on top of a tree one time that you could literally walk on in Hawaii. I'd climb out the window, jump up to it. And my parents thought I went to school, but I didn't go to school. And I think that eventually led to me dropping out of high school. And we can maybe get into that a little bit, but I was a rambunctious and very difficult child to wrangle. I was not mean. I was not any of those. I didn't get into a lot of trouble, but I did skip school a lot. And I think that was the first signs that I was a creative soul. And I think my parents would agree with that. So, and I would try anything. And to this day, that's kind of how I am. If I got an itch to do something, I'm going to do it.
So do you have anything cool coming up for the fans that you want to share on the show?
Yeah, the main thing is after, a long absence from music, the first part of my Gravity album, which will come out late next year, the first part of that, there are two parts. The first part is called The Rise, and that's 7 songs as an EP. That's coming out on October 17th. It'll have the 2 current singles that are out, The Whiskey Makes Her Miss Me and We Make America Run, which are doing phenomenally well. I think Whiskey's surpassed 250,000 streams in just over a month in terms of real streams on Spotify. So that's doing really well. The rest of I think people are going to find out that the album's pretty deep, and the EPs are pretty deep. So they're more like minimum level CDs or albums, I should say. And this first one's 7 songs. The second one will be 8 or 9 songs potentially. And the full album will be 16 or 17 songs. And that'll be called Gravity. The second part of the EP2 is called Falling Into Place. And there's a NASA, talking about NASA, like when you think about Gravity and NASA and my life as a guy that has had 3 Space Act agreements with NASA to help them with everything from veterans to youth and other things. I felt like Gravity was like the perfect thing to come out with on my return to music. And there's a lot that has to do with, but it's, one, gravity can weigh you down. Gravity is also something that if you escape gravity, you're going to float indefinitely. And in my case, the rise relates to kind of rising from gravity, leaving gravity as I come back, and then falling into places. At some point, I need to come back. And that part is called Falling Into Place. And that's about, finding out who I am as a singer and a songwriter. And that's what the second part is really about. And then the full Gravity album is the rise and the falling into place coming together as one album eventually.
Tell us where people can find your stuff, where they can stream it, where can they find anything that you have to offer?
So Ansel Brown should be on every streaming platform pretty much in terms of my music. I can find my older music, which I think a lot of people, when they discover it, will go like, they'll be impressed with the quality of that album and then the singles that followed it and the work that we did in Nashville with Cliff Downs and other great writers. I've been blessed enough to have some of the best writers in music allow me to do their songs. And I love, it's all about the song to me. So any good song that I fit with, I love. So my website, anselbrown.com, you can find anything about me. There's an electronic press kit on there. There's latest interviews. Yours will be on there. I've got all the information on the current singles and where to listen to them and what platforms to listen to them on. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on X, and I'm active on all of them. So yeah, you can find me. Just search for Ansel Brown. Luckily, there's not a lot of Ansels, so it's.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. There are more now than there were when I started. I will admit that.
Well, and the more famous you get, then people will be naming their kids after you. So,
well, yeah, it is an old family name. So, I went with my middle name, and I feel like that was the right way for me to come out as an artist. And
yeah, it's cool, man. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. I want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight.
It was amazing. I really appreciate your platform and what you do for artists, and thank you for putting yourself out there to help us. And I'm glad that my publicist found you, and I'm glad that we are doing this.
So thank you, and thank you to all of you tonight for sharing a little bit of your precious time with the two of us. We know it's special and we know it's limited, and thank you. And we hope this episode has inspired you. My name is Sarantos. Please join me every single Tuesday evening on Reality Radio 101. I love you all. Have a great night.
Show. To keep the momentum going, head over to www.songwritershow.com and join our free music community of artists, songwriters, and producers. That's www.songwritershow.com.